Hello, and welcome to Fruit for Thought, the podcast where we talk about all things queer and spicy in relation to fitness, nutrition, and overall well-being. Today we have Kit on the show. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having
Um,
me.
good. I've never done a podcast before, so I'm very Oh my goodness, it's our first episode,
It's exciting.
and you brought Prosecco.
I did. Well,
So
it was. I figured it's new exciting thing.
yes,
We have to celebrate.
yes.
So and also just have prosecco at like 11 o'clock in the morning. So.
Yeah, it is 11 a.m. on a Sunday morning right now, just for the viewers' context.
I don't get out of I don't get out of bed early on a Sunday morning for just anything. So
Yeah, I
figured.
feel like it should be celebrated. That and the new podcast.
Mhm.
I love how you filled that like almost as full is acceptable.
Well, look, I'm from I'm from Sunderland, so if there's any alcohol involved, it's going to be get as much as you can. So
I love that. We have a little cheers. And thank you
cheers.
so much for being part of the first episode.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
exciting. I need to sip this very slowly. If you see that half full within the next 5 minutes, just be like, Ray, rein it in. Rein that in.
One glass for the episode. We talked about this.
So just for context, everyone listening, watching, what have you, Kit is you're quite a new client of mine. And so I thought it'd be good for us to talk about, obviously, as it's been quite recent that you were, I guess, like looking and searching and then you found love. I guess did you look at other gyms first? What was kind of like the process in terms of like, I guess, what were you looking for and what was the process you went through before you found me?
That's fair. Well, I've tried like gyms in the past, like normal gyms, like at university, sort of 10 years ago now. And I was not a fan of gyms, and I thought it was just because it was like every time I talk to people about exercise, it's always been you just got to get into it, like just keep going and make a habit of it and all of this stuff.
Motivation,
exactly.
Just get motivated.
And this was before I knew I was like diagnosed with ADHD and autism. So like I was just like, oh, I just need to, if you do it every day for 10 days, it forms a habit and stuff. And it was just like all of this stuff that you're taught all the time.
Foolproof rule.
And shock horror, it did not work.
Yeah.
So I kind of just went.
And also going to the gym 10 days straight is kind of
a nightmare, especially at uni as well.
Yeah.
And when I was like hungover most of the time. So I was doing my best, just never really gelled with it, never felt comfortable. I always kind of felt like I stood out. I always felt like I didn't really belong there. It just never felt like a space that kind of like welcomed me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So kind of abandoned that. And then years and years go by, put on a ton of weight, get very unhealthy because struggling with like mental health and loads of other stuff. And then kind of about 6 months ago, I was like, well, actually I moved here to Manchester in sort of August and was like, I need to start trying to get my sort of health sorted. So I started improving my diet and was like, at some point I'm going to do exercise. I'm going to start like going for walks and stuff. And then it got to sort of May and I was like, okay, I'm not doing it. Every day I'm like, today's going to be the day. And then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I need some help. So I started trying to see if there was like a personal trainer I could afford, and started looking specifically for ones who sort of work with queer people and neurodivergent people, and found you, sort of thing. Because with my therapist, I've had a lot of therapists over the years, and my current one specializes in queer and neurodivergent people, and it has felt so much more validating and so much more, I feel a lot more seen. And I realized that was actually important to me, to find people who understand me.
Yeah.
So kind of did a lot of searching, was surprised at how little I found in Manchester. I kind of thought Manchester would have a lot more.
Yeah, you would think, yeah.
But then out of all the ones I looked at, you were the one that stood out the most. So say the email, the rest is history.
What was, I guess you've kind of like touched on like the reasons, just there that I like stood out. I guess what was it about like, I guess my approach that stood out for you that made you think that it was maybe a space that you could feel comfortable in?
There was a few things on your website that were very much like, if you're unsure, just reach out and we can talk about it. Whereas all the others were like, felt very sort of, I don't want to say professional because that makes it sound like you weren't, but sort of impersonal, I
I
think.
do like professionalism.
Professional.
Don't even know what the word is. That's how
I've had
much I
one sip
love
of Prosecco and we can't speak.
it. I know, yeah.
But yeah, it was, yours felt a lot more personal. Like I
Mhm.
felt like I got a glimpse of, just from sort of your website, I got more of a glimpse of like you and who you were as a person, whereas the others felt very like impersonal. And to me, I kind of figured that if someone is able to like have that sort of front on their website, then I'm probably going to connect with them more, because I do
Yeah.
tend to connect with people who are not quite as sort of,
I guess a bit more like authentic
yeah,
than
authentic.
professional.
That was, I
Yeah.
literally, that was what I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm looking for like, I don't know, a new service or something, yeah, if I'm looking at websites, I'll always look at like, okay, who is this person? Like,
Mhm.
am I gonna connect with this person? Because yeah, am I gonna feel like not like normal, but like I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm in spaces where I just feel a little bit alien.
Yeah, absolutely. When
Yeah,
it's
which I guess is the spicy experience.
100%, and especially with something like exercise, which is can be obviously uncomfortable because
Mm.
you're pushing yourself. I wanted someone that I could feel comfortable and let my guard down around, because I was aware there were going to be days I was going to come in and just be like, I don't want to do this. I'm not in a good headspace. I don't want to do this, but I made myself come, sort of thing.
Mm.
And I wanted someone who was going to be able to kind of accept me as I am on my good days and on my bad days, and be like, right, let's adapt what we're doing to suit sort of your needs right now.
Yeah.
Um, and from when we had our first chat, I just immediately got that impression and was just like, I think I've nailed this first time. So
Yeah, I guess. So obviously you went down the personal training route because you thought I need someone to help me with this.
Mhm.
If there was, in theory, a gym that was queer friendly, super inclusive, spicy friendly, is that something that you would have considered at this point, or do you feel like, oh no, I needed extra support, or if the gym also offered extra support, maybe just not one to one, but like in a group, is that something you would have considered, or do you think that you needed one to one support right now?
I think I would have considered it. I
Yeah.
think one-to-one support is definitely sort of better for me and what I need right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, had that space existed, I probably would have. It would have been very tempting, and I would have looked at it. But
Yeah.
where would I find such a space?
Jackfruits. Coming soon, coming soon. Kind of why we're here. Cool. Yeah. Well, maybe down the line you can graduate. That is kind of my dream for most of my clients. Well, obviously some clients come on and I kind of describe people in like two camps. Some clients come on and they're just like, I think I just need help like for the foreseeable. I need someone to keep me accountable and just hold my hand through this. And I don't really see myself wanting to do this by myself at any point, really, like in the near future. And then other people are like, right, train me up, Ray, show me the ways, and I want to do this myself. But then I guess there might be like a third camp, people that want to be in the second camp, but they're like, I want to be able to do this myself, but there's not like a space for that, maybe. So yeah, maybe like down the line, I can like train you up and then
Set me
send you on your
free.
way to a more financially accessible version as well. I think that's a dream of mine. Like I think obviously I get quite a few inquiries through, but there must be so many people that never even consider personal training because of the high price point or much higher price point than a gym. And so yeah, I'd love to be able to help those people too.
Absolutely. It is definitely one of the reasons it's kind of taken this long for me to consider it, was just the price point is very sort of, especially for someone who's sort of like long-term unemployed, it's a lot. But the way I've been looking at things sort of the last year was just like, I need to start investing in myself because my health is getting worse every year, and I need to sort of like change the trajectory of this, otherwise things will get worse. So I figured now was the time. But like, if there was a more accessible gym that felt kind of, for lack of a better term, like nice to be in, I guess.
Yeah.
Because a lot of gyms, I'm kind of there and I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I'm going to do the thing and I'm going to leave as fast as possible. It was a space I didn't mind being in, that was
Yeah.
more like suitable to my needs. I think that would have definitely been something I pursued. But I think right now this was the correct decision.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I'm glad because I love our session.
Me too.
So I guess thinking back, you talked a little bit about I guess where you were before you kind of started training and stuff, but I guess thinking about more when you were a kid, did you do much exercise? What was your relationship with movement when you were younger, or maybe with your body as well? What was that whole situation for you?
I wouldn't say I've had like a good relationship with my body over the years. I wasn't a fan of like PE and stuff at school
Mm.
at all. I found it really just difficult, but I think that was a lot of sort of, the atmosphere, sort of like lads sort of mentality that obviously I don't fit in.
Mm.
So I didn't really enjoy that. I tried like a few sports like swimming and stuff, and it was always one of those things where it was like, I went to them because my parents made me go.
Yeah.
And they were like, you need to be active, so you're doing a sport. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do something, and then I'll get bored of it in like 2 weeks and be like, well, I've kind of started this now.
Mm.
So I did swimming, I did kickboxing. The only sport I ever really like actually enjoyed was like skiing, but
Oh.
obviously not something that's
I
very
didn't
easy
try
to do.
skiing, so I'm always like,
It's super fun.
yeah.
Yeah. There was like a dry ski slope that was near me that like I used to go to, like not all the time. It was so expensive, but like
Yeah.
every so often, like you go as a little treat sort of thing. But I was just terrified of falling over because they're absolutely lethal, those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, like parents would like occasionally go on skiing holidays and stuff, and that was really, really amazing. But that was the only time I enjoyed being active. But I think it was more, like being somewhere interesting and
Yeah.
kind of. It's also a sport where you don't really move very much. You're doing a lot, but you're not.
Yeah,
You're just stood there, sort of wiggling. So it was like
Yeah,
the
a little
perfect. It was
wiggle
like the
dance, like-
perfect sport for me. I just get to stand and wiggle. It was great.
Love a stand and wiggle. I feel like I do that all the time.
Literally, yeah.
Get out of the shower,
Just
stand
attach-
and wiggle.
Just put you on a hill,
Kettle
attach some
on,
skis. You'd be
stand and
great.
wiggle. Yeah, I think I'd nail skiing.
Mhm.
I guess you need to bend a little bit more. I don't
You do,
bend
yeah.
and stand and wiggle too much, but that'd probably be the only difference. So, you mentioned about the gym not feeling like it was for you. What was it about it that made it feel like that?
I think it was like a number of things. I think primarily for me, it was kind of the feeling of like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I've never really been to gyms before. I'd not really like had any sort of training. I had the like obviously induction where it's like, these are the machines. This is how you use the machines. And
The
it's like,
induction that's like, oh, we're just gonna walk around. That's a machine.
that's a machine.
That's also a machine.
That's how you use the machine. And I was like, cool. So
That's the
you showed me
toilet.
30 machines in 15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not going to happen. My brain's never going to take that much in. But I think it's just a lot of the environment isn't great for sort of, I mean, especially like most of my experience with gyms was before I was diagnosed ADHD autism. But it just didn't feel like the environment was great for my sort of autism because there's lots of weird noises. There's lots of like strangers that I don't know. There's lots of distractions. And I think all of that sort of comboed with sort of my anxiety around, I don't know what I'm doing, but also like a lot of gyms are very sort of masculine spaces and very sort of like male dominated. And I've just never really felt comfortable in those spaces.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things where sort of I walk in kind of fat and sort of out of shape and unsure of what I'm doing to start with. And then I see all these people who are just like absolutely ripped, just like doing all of this stuff. And I'm sat there like, I'm barely using any weights. What am I doing? Is this even right? Am I doing the correct thing? And it just, the trying to focus on how to move my muscles while also trying to shut out all of the distraction, while also trying to make sure I'm doing the correct thing. And also trying to make sure that it's like, okay, so I'm doing this. What am I doing next? What am I doing next? And that combined with just like, even just stuff like the lighting, they're always quite like bright lights and sometimes loud music. And
yeah,
it was just very sort of on both sort of neurodivergent and queer level. It just didn't feel like a space that was designed for me because it was just very sort of big masculine straight men, and also here's a bunch of stimuli that are going to really stress you out.
Yeah, no, I completely get that. As a fellow spicy, I can get that. I guess from like the queer perspective, then, like, you touched mainly on like the spicy elements. Then, I guess what about kind of being queer in those spaces feels uncomfortable if it does?
It does. I think a lot of when there's lots of, I mean, this is just my personal experience, but like I tend to get quite nervous if I'm in like a big group of like straight men, just because obviously I'm quite noticeably queer. and especially so like at university. And sort of I grew up in the Northeast and was used to having comments and all of that sort of thing. And there was always just that little thing of, oh, not only are these, am I in a room full of people, I'm also in a room full of very strong people with lots of heavy objects. And obviously that's very unlikely to happen. You know, that a lot of that is sort of my sort of internalized fear of what was happening from my experiences and not based in reality at all, because I'm sure most of those people were lovely. But there's still that sort of element of being intimidated in that space and being sort of like, I clearly stand out. I clearly do not fit in here. And
I imagine having to use the like choosing between the facilities as well. Right, like having to choose the. I imagine you probably chose the male
I pretty much,
facilities as well.
I still always choose the mids,
Yeah.
but that's just because like safety, essentially.
Yeah.
Like it's just easier.
Yeah.
And like if there's sort of the very few times they're sort of like multi-gendered, I'll always pick that one. But
Yeah.
kind of most of the time it's just men's. It's just because it's safer. And it's one of those things where like I never like got changed to the gym. I was always like, I would go in my gym clothes and I'd only go into the changing room really to like put stuff in a locker or use the bathroom.
Yeah.
I would never get changed. I would always like go home and shower.
Yeah. So even if the showers were there, you wouldn't use a shower.
No, would never use them. Would always just like, I thankfully didn't live that far, so I just like get the bus home and just be like, I feel a bit bad being stinky on the bus, but also there's no way I'm using the showers here.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't feel safe. So I just think it would just be really nice to have a space where I can use the facilities without feeling terrified.
Have a more like normal experience.
Yeah.
Be able to shower when you want to and be able to kind of get changed somewhere and not feel awful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not feel like not just unsafe, but just kind of unwelcome. And that's nothing wrong. Like I don't think these gyms did anything specifically wrong. I just think it's a lot of sort of our world isn't designed for. It's designed for very cookie cutter people, and I am very much not that.
Yes.
And there are some spaces where that doesn't really matter. There are some spaces where like it becomes very clear that I don't fit in. And I think gyms is one of those examples where it's like, here is a very clear example of how the world is not designed for you.
Yeah, and I think it's mad in Manchester. We have quite a lot of like great spaces that we can go to. I don't know about you, and feel like really like welcome, and like there are some really lovely
100%.
spaces around. And then fitness is just something that has just not really been addressed. I guess,
which is really weird.
Yeah, it's. I've kind of been like, it's mad that no one's done this before. Like how is it little old me that's like, let's do this. Let's do this. Nugget was just like, what's going on?
No.
Yeah, which is like mad, but incredibly exciting. It feels kind of surreal.
It is exciting because I do genuinely think I know lots of queer people who would like to take advantage of the gym, but have had similar experiences to me. And I just think it's one of those things where you either just learn to deal with it or you just never go.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real shame because I think there are so many people like me who don't have a great relationship with their body and kind of don't like how they look and want to work on that and change that and kind of improve both like how I look physically, but also my health, which is a big thing. And just not feeling able to, because it just feels like there's no facilities anywhere where I can do that without. It's like I can improve my physical health, but the effect on my mental health from going to these places will basically almost outweigh the point of going.
Yeah. You end up with like a bit of a negative even sometimes. You're like,
exactly.
This should be a positive experience.
100%.
Yeah, people go to the gym and they report feeling like great after and they're in a great mood and all these endorphins.
I was always like, who are these people?
Yeah.
Every time I went, I came out like on the verge of a panic attack.
Yeah.
Like every time. I got to the point where essentially I would just I had the thing where someone was like, oh, if you just make yourself go, then once you're there, you'll go. And like,
once you're there, you'll be fine.
Yeah, once there, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'll go to the gym, and then even if I don't go in, I'll be fine. I'd go in and I'd do like 2 things, and then I'd just be like, I just need to go home. just need to go home. I
Yeah.
just want to go home. And I would just leave. And it's just like sad because it would have been nice to have got into it then and got the thing that
Yeah.
I see so many people around me getting out of the gym.
Yeah,
That
like
I
if you
just,
could have been doing this for years, like
I would have been great now.
yeah.
I would have been absolutely ripped by now.
Yeah.
But instead I'm here. Ah, such a shame.
You're here with me. Oh.
I know. And I used to dread going to the gym as well.
Yeah.
I used to like, when I was like, I need to go to the gym today, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to
Mm.
go. I would like fully really get worked up about thinking about going. And I've done nothing but look forward to our sessions. And I think obviously a large part of that is it's thanks to you. But I think also it's being in an environment where I feel safe to be myself
Yeah.
and I can actually relax enough to focus on what I'm doing
Yeah.
rather than constantly being like, I've got to have these molds up. I've got to stay protected.
Yeah.
But also I've got to pay attention to all the muscles in my body that have never done anything before.
Yeah.
Which as in our sessions, you've realized I can't control more than 2 muscles at once or I just fall over.
I mean, honestly, you've come on really well.
I know, but it
To
feels,
start with, you were like, I move what?
it just,
But now you're doing great.
it feels like, have you ever seen those like Japanese dancing robots?
Japanese
They were like they were like, oh, we've invented all these robots that can like walk upstairs and do stuff,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
they just occasionally just go zzz and just like fall over, and it's just that's what I feel like. I feel like it's like, yes, I am a normal human, and then suddenly all my muscles are like, what if we all activated in different directions at the same time? And I just feel like I'm gonna
Even
fall.
your muscles have ADHD.
Literally,
They're
yeah.
like, we're focusing.
Focusing. Oh, squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel. Don't say that too loud. Nugget will. Nugget, squirrel. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no.
He's too tired for the squirrels. You know, he did a little
Oh.
reaction. He didn't jump off the table again and knock over a plant pot like earlier.
God.
Yes, I'm looking at you. That was a 4-pound plant pot, Nugget. I know.
For shame, Nugget.
I know. He should be very ashamed of himself. Well, yeah, I am sorry to hear about all those experiences.
It's just part of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things about being queer is you just kind of, as much as it sucks, you kind of do just grow up going, can't go there, don't feel good here.
Yeah.
And I just think the more we can create spaces for ourselves, as much as they shouldn't be needed, we shouldn't have to make these spaces for ourselves.
That's the thing. Throughout this whole process, I've been like, this is gonna be great, and I'm like, this shouldn't be needed.
Yes.
Why is this needed? This is insane. But the fact is, it is, right? Like, I feel like enough of us have tried in normal gyms. Yeah. Way too many of us have tried. And yeah, so this is happening. It's exciting.
It's very exciting.
And yeah, hopefully people, you know, in your position, even like say 10 years ago, you can enter Jacked Fruit and, you know, start this whole process a lot earlier than you have, which would be really, really cool.
Don't wait till your 30s to work out. Trust me, it makes it so much harder.
But it's never too late.
It's never too late.
Like, I have had clients join of all ages. Like, my clients range from like 20s to their 60s. And like, even I've got a couple people. No, I've got one person in their 60s, and they are like doing so well now, and they're like super healthy, and like they have made like this huge change, and it's just been super, super good for them. So yeah, no matter your age, guys, Jacked Fruit's for you. It's been so lovely to chat to you today. Thank you so much for coming in. I can say this because I want to. Like, you're one of my favorites, so I'm glad that you came in.
Thank you so much.
People say, "Oh, you can't have favorites." You absolutely can. You're one of mine. So, thank you. And also, you bring me drinks. So
I do bring little treats.
I can be bought.
I have learned this, and I will remember this for future. Like, I've had a really bad week of nutrition, but I have brought you some chocolate.
Get out of a few last reps by just giving me a gift. Distract Ray with a gift, and they'll forget the last set or two.
Bring like some treats for Nugget and some treats for you.
Yes.
And it's like, look over there.
We both love treats, and we will both be distracted. And on that note, let's finish the episode.
Thank you so much for having me. Make sure you check out the rest of the series. Why did I do finger guns?